A Little Life. A Little Life is a 2015 novel by American novelist Hanya Yanagihara. The novel was written over the course of 18 months. Despite the length and difficult subject matter, it became a bestseller. Structure of the novel. A Little Life is divided into 7 separate parts and follows a chronological narrative with flashbacks frequently interspersed throughout. The novel's narrative perspectives shift throughout the story's progression. During the beginning of the novel, a third-person omniscient perspective privileging one of Jude's, William's, JB's, or Malcolm's thoughts is utilized. As the story gradually shifts its focus towards Jude, its perspective progressively molds entirely around each character's interactions with Jude and the experiences of Jude himself. This literary perspective is punctuated by first-person narratives told from an unspecified future by an older Harold. Plot summary. The novel follows the lives of 4 friends in New York City from college through to middle age. It focuses particularly on Jude, a lawyer with a mysterious past, ambiguous ethnicity, and unexplained health issues. Jude walks with a limp and suffers from severe nerve damage in his spine that causes him great pain, which he blames on a car injury he sustained as a child. Unbeknownst to the rest of the group, he also habitually self-harms. The rest of the group includes Malcolm, a struggling architect from a wealthy biracial family who still lives at home, JB, a painter of Haitian descent, and Willem, an aspiring actor with whom Jude is closest because both are orphans. After graduation, Jude and Willem share a 1-bedroom apartment due to their relative poverty compared to their friends. Despite this apparent closeness with his friends, Jude finds himself unable to divulge either detail of his past or current state of mind to his roommate. Nonetheless, he thrives in his law practice and develops a close parent-child relationship with his former professor, Harold, and his wife Julia, which results in the pair adopting him when Jude turns 30. While thankful, the time before the adoption is filled with further bouts of self-harm as Jude believes he is inherently unworthy of affection. Meanwhile, the rest of the group finds success in their respective fields, with Willem becoming a star of theater and then film. JB finds success as an artist but also becomes addicted to crystal meth. The group stages an intervention, where JB mocks Jude by doing a crude imitation of his limp. In spite of successful treatment and a great deal of apologizing, Jude finds it impossible to forgive JB. Willem refuses to forgive him too, causing the group to fragment, with only Malcolm remaining friends with all 4 members. It becomes clear that Jude was sexually traumatized at a very young age, making it difficult for him to engage in romantic relationships. His friends and loved ones begin questioning this isolation as he enters his 40s, with William especially being baffled with regards to Jude's sexuality. As his loneliness grows more intense, he enters an abusive relationship with fashion executive Caleb, who is disgusted by Jude's limp and his increasing use of a wheelchair. Jude finally breaks off the relationship after Caleb rapes him, and they meet a final time when Caleb follows him to dinner with Harold, humiliates him, and then follows Jude to his apartment where he brutally beats and rapes him, leaving him for dead. Jude nonetheless refuses to report the incident to the police, believing he deserved it. Only Harold and Andy, Jude's doctor and ongoing confidant, know the truth of the failed relationship. Although Jude's body manages to heal, the rapes cause him to flash back to his childhood wherein he was raised in a monastery and repeatedly sexually abused by the brothers. He recalls a period when one of the brothers, Brother Luke, ran away with him, forcing him into years of child prostitution. After he was rescued by the police, Jude was placed in state care, where the abuse continued at the hands of the counselors there. After the breakup with Caleb brings back this childhood trauma, Jude finally decides to kill himself, but he survives the attempt. In the aftermath, Willem comes back home and begins to live with him. Jude continues to refuse therapy but begins to tell Willem the least traumatic stories about his childhood, which Willem finds disturbing and horrifying. The two soon begin a relationship, but Jude continues to struggle with opening up and does not enjoy having sex with him. In an attempt to curb his cutting, Jude decides to instead burn himself as a form of self-harm, but accidentally inflicts 3rd-degree burns that require skin graft. The wound is so severe that Andy tells him he has to tell Willem what happened, or else he will do it for him. Before Jude can tell Willem, and he accidentally divulges the information. William is horrified, but after a difficult fight, Jude finally confesses that he does not enjoy sex and tells William about the years of sexual and physical abuse he endured. He also reveals that the damage to his legs was caused by a man called Dr. Traylor, who picked him up after he ran away from state care at age 15 and held him captive, eventually running him over with his car. The relationship continues, with William sleeping with women and not with Jude. The two settle into a comfortable life together, which is shaken when Jude's legs become worse, and he must reluctantly amputate. He manages to learn to walk again with his new prosthetics, and the pair enter a period of their life which William dubs the happy years. However, while picking up Malcolm and his wife from the train station for a visit, William is involved in a car accident with a drunk driver which kills all three occupants. With his two closest friends dead, Jude descends once again into self-destructive habits, losing such an excessive amount of weight that his remaining loved ones stage another intervention, though they are able to get him to gain weight and to attend therapy. Years of depression and despair finally overtake Jude and he takes his own life. End of the summary. Thank you. Thank you.